Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Another episode, Just My Opinion Reviews. We talking Paradise Season 2, Episode 4, title, A Holy Charge. Xavier and Annie travel to Atlanta. Do they? Contrasting life in this new world and the one he left behind in the bunker. Lamont, this was a hell of an episode. A lot happened, especially at the end. And the way that this started off as well, I'm asking myself, is Link a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he trying to save the world, or is he going to start up a whole bunch of ruckus? I'm just going to stop there and ask you, what did you think about the episode, your general impressions, expectations, all that? How are you feeling, sir?
This was a fantastic episode, probably my favorite of the season, because I was always wondering what were they going to do with Annie. I was wondering, like, how are they? They just brought her on. Where are they going with her? And we got a conclusion to what they was doing with her, and I like that. I like that she was nice to Xavier. I thought that she was going to be kind of like hostage prepper situation, as she wasn't. And overall, this thing kept me on a roller coaster loop, and it ended with a huge, huge cliffhanger.
Right on. Definitely a huge cliffhanger. Xavier was very aggressive towards the end, but of course, we're going to talk about that. The way I felt about it, Lamont, I was kind of bored up until the end. I was saying to myself, okay, the way that this episode started off was great because we have Link leading the charge. They are waiting on this train. He looks like a completely different person than he did when we first met him. Well, we first met in episode 1, but I mean, if you're going back in time, when he was with the developer, he looked so young and innocent, like he wouldn't hurt a fly. Now he looked like he gonna be more devastating and destructive than the volcano that destroyed the world. Running up to cameras with signs and talking about the train. Of course, he's the leader. Everybody is listening to him. And we see how deep he is. Okay, this is not just a handful of men that we saw from the first episode. We thought it was, 5, 6, 7 guys. They 30, 40, 50 cars deep. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? And they're so confident as if they just really gonna just pull up to a bunker that can withstand nuclear blast, like they just gonna, hook up a chain to the door and pull it off with their pickup truck. That's the attitude they have. But I like it though, because I'm saying to myself, okay, what do y'all have up your sleeve if you just think that this is just gonna be, because I mean, they're very confident, to say the least. But the episode started off like that, Lamont, and then it just kind of focuses on Annie and Sterling or Xavier. And I'm just like, okay, this is cool, this is nice, but I want to see other events. I want to see more of Link and his team. They having these dreams, these visions, and those are tied into each other. I want to find out what is going to happen to the black chick, the not
Robinson.
That's the Robinson. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, we're kind of like how we started off with episode 1. We trying to see Xavier, but they giving us Annie. I'm trying to see Robinson, but they giving us, Annie out here pregnant, being ugly with Xavier with the handcuffs on the bed. And so, well, I was gonna say how I feel about the ending. I watched this kind of like 1.5 times, and I have different opinions about it the second time around. Initially, when we got to the end, I was frustrated, kind of thinking, okay, what was the point of this? But when I kind of watched it a second time, I'm thinking it just was more significant and had a crazy emotional weight, aka a holy charge, So yeah, but you said that you thought Annie was very aggressive towards the beginning. Speak on that.
Well, more so from last season. I mean, excuse me, last episode when she chained my man up. On one hand, I want to say that's what you should do, but he was already wounded anyway. He didn't really pose that much of a threat. And then when he kept talking about he's trying to go, I've taken a CCW, and in North Carolina, if the person has broken into your house and they're trying to leave, you're not supposed to shoot them while they're running out. So this man's telling you he don't want to be there, he want to go. So you done patch him up, let him go. But she got a little selfish, and she was worried about her baby and her baby daddy. And in the end, the type of person that she truly is at her heart finally came out. So we got a full story of someone who started out a sweet person, got hard grizzled, and then eventually went back to truly who they are and delivered a baby. And now Xavier's going to have to go back to that bunker and explain to his damn kids how he popped up with a white baby.
That's funny as hell. Yeah. We're gonna it's a lot of explanations. I'm thinking to myself when as soon as he gets to Terry, if he gets to Terry, hey, this is not my baby, or like what if Annie was still alive and he pull up, that's the first thing he's gonna say. Hey, baby, I love you, I miss you, but this is not mine. We just found each other 2-3 weeks ago. Yada yada yada. I can imagine how frustrated he was, man. I mean, he's in the plane. I mean, we knew it wasn't gonna be easy. It wouldn't be a story if he just found her the next day. Terry,
Right.
but he's in the plane, goes into a hailstorm, crashes, F's up his leg, gets cut in the chest, gets his stuff stolen. I mean, he's saved, but then it's like, it's going to take another 2 weeks for you to be able to move because, you got a hole on your sternum and your side here. We got to let that heal. It's just like, damn, another 2, like that's just frustrating. They're eating rats. Was that a joke or were they really eating rats, Lamont? They go to the Waffle House. Go ahead.
I think they was really eating rats, man. When you living like that, you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. I mean, look, somebody around the world is eating rat tails, my brother. The way we eat pig tails, somebody's eating rat tails.
I guess you're
somebody's
right,
eating Master Splinter.
I guess would you eat would you eat Master Splinter? Or would you just be like, you know what? I've lived long enough. God, take me now.
I want to say, man. You get hungry enough, you liable to cannibalize your neighbor. So I'm probably not going to commit suicide. If you believe in a higher power, suicide is one of the sins you cannot repent from.
I feel you. Now, the way that this episode started off, let's go back just a little bit more. Link, when they was at their pit stop, where they was posted up, taking a break, cleaning off their boots, he was waking up from a nap. He was having a vision. What's up with these visions, man? What's going on with the visions?
I think those visions are premonitions to where we're going to end up. The thing that I'm with you, I can't figure out if Link is, if he's a villain, anti-hero, or good guy. And I say that because he's having these visions, and these visions, like I feel like are a premonition of how we're going to get the world back started. Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to think that he knows Sinatra, because we got a little bit more backstory into Sinatra and her trying to restart the world and the energy she was doing in this episode. Link and his crew obviously know about her, I think. And so I think Link could be the kid, possibly, that the FBI agent, he could have something to do with that kid that we seen in the last episode, that the dad was like, this boy is going to save the world. Link might have something to do with him. And so I think that they're giving us a premonition of how things are going to play and the part that Link is going to play in it, but we still don't know. We don't know if we can trust him just because he made nice with Annie. A lot of bad guys have a code. A lot of I'm not going to hurt a woman. I'm not going to hurt a child.
Right.
And maybe that was their code. But when it comes to saving the world and restarting the world, I'll cut a nigga.
Yeah. But Link is not only the one having the visions, bro. Xavier is having the exact same link. They are dreaming of the same thing, and they've never met. They've never met.
Look, pun intended. That's the link. Pun intended. Look, the link is their visions, the baby. I already told you, I think Xavier is going to be president. Link is going to be his scientist. There you go. There's the link.
Yeah, what y'all think, man? These theories, what is going down? They're linked. like Lamont said, we're going to see. Also, what's interesting, man, it is amazing how much or little the president has in this bunker now. He
No,
barging into Sinatra's office like he's a fan. Can I get your autograph? Hey, look what I did today. He's seeming as weak as the vice president did an episode or two ago, last episode, talking about, hey, let's give him summer. Hey, I mean, it's a good thing that you like, hey, we're going to be having the first baby down here. This is remarkable. But Sinatra like, look, bro, I got bigger fish to fry. Like, that was just so disrespectful. Or maybe you disagree. Not only that, he was emasculated in front of his Secret Service agents, it's Billy and Xavier. Mind you, there's a personality switch. I guess Xavier just real professional. I mean, and Billy died last season, but they keep bringing him back. I want your opinion right there. But anyway, I just found it very, very interesting how little power the president had down there, and the way that Sinatra was talking to him. Also making the comment is, hey, you should be paying attention to how we're keeping the lights on down here with these nuclear reactor power unit black batteries or whatever. What are your thoughts there?
there's some truth in what Sinatra said, but there's also lack of humanity in Sinatra. There's a whole lot of humanity in the president, but then there's a lack of thought, critical thinking, and intelligence in the president. And honestly, they portrayed what really goes on in real life in most countries. Whoever's the figurehead, the president, usually doesn't have all the power. The person with all the power is the one with all the money. Just like here, we think President Trump has power, but the people that really have the power are the people that are funding President Trump for him to do the things that they want. Obviously, she was the one that funded the bunker. She was the one that has this scientific technology. And so we don't get to see it, but most presidents kiss somebody's ring, and that's what he's doing. And like I said, he seems like he was a genuine, humane person, except for the way he did his son, but he did apologize and come back. And he was just giddy for life. And I told you before, one thing that has the power to bring people together is bringing a new baby into the world. And eventually, that can even make the ardent Grinch love Christmas. And that's what we saw with Sinatra. You're on mute.
So you're right there. Y'all let us know what y'all think about that. At some point in time, did you think that there was going to be some type of romantic chemistry between Xavier and Annie and Xavier?
No, and I'm quick to pick up on that kind of stuff. Never felt that. I felt what the kind of energy I felt more as they grew. It went from I'm holding you hostage to I trust you like a big brother. It was more of that kind of energy for me, or kind of he's a mentor and she's the mentee. It switched to that kind of energy. Never did I feel any I want to date you vibes. And it's hard to do that with a pregnant person, but there are dudes who fetish is pregnant women because they can't get pregnant no more.
I didn't even think about that, but you're right. And I don't mean to interrupt. Something happened to where I'm picking up a little bit more feedback in your mic than when we started off. So just a friendly FYI.
I hear a buzzing noise too, but nothing. There's nothing on in my house. Nothing.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna keep on a rocking and a rolling and a rolling and a rocking. The president probably was the most irritating to me in this episode out of the whole show.
What?
I don't know why.
President.
Yeah, just seeing how the way he acts down here. He's supposed to be optimistic. He's supposed to be trying to bring joy and peace to everybody. But when he was down there with Louisa, and he wouldn't listen to Xavier, like, hey, no, I want to go in there and be with the baby. He's like, you can't go in there. Well, scrub up with me. And he did, I'm not going to lie, he did drop a bar. When he was like, she was nervous, the baby's heart rate dropped. They had to do the emergency C-section. Of course, she's going to be nervous. Anybody would. You're down there. You don't know if you have all the normal resources that you would have in regular Earth. But he did come through and say that, hey, babies are resilient. They're strong. They're tough. They've been found in the rubble. under earthquakes and etc. I was like, wow, so I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe he wasn't annoying. Or he was annoying to me up until that point. But I mean, I like the fact that they are bringing life into this new bunker, just to kind of showcase that, life can go on. And, possibly there be hope, because there's only 25,000 people down here. They don't know that there's life above. So, they're very afraid, and so this may be the light that they need to, keep them going. You can comment there, but also, I thought in the episode there should have been a conversation between Xavier and Annie as to his mindset when he was in the bunker. Like, did you not know that there was people, out here? Did you ever have an attempt? It's been 3 years. Why are we just now meeting you? Like, why are y'all hiding out? Why didn't you try to communicate? What's going on here? What's going on there? I kind of thought that they would have had a conversation about all that. I know I just said a lot, but how do you feel about all that?
Yeah, I would prefer the more deeper dive so that Annie can know what was going on, especially if you're going to kill her. And maybe they didn't give us that information because they knew she was going to die. But I kind of felt like it would have been a natural transition for them to have a conversation about what life was like in the bunker. Was there ever any talk of coming out for a rescue mission? Anything like that. I thought that should have been had. And in terms of Louisa and the baby and the president, I feel the president, and a lot of people who've had kids, and I'm not knocking people who haven't had kids. I'm saying that if you've experienced birth with someone, it is a out-of-body experience for a man, and you're not even the one giving the birth.
Right.
And so I get why the president was feeling that. He's down there with, having a son. He's not with the mother anymore. And so he's giddy at the fact that this is the start of a new generation. This is the start of the people, probably one of the people that's going to help bring life out of this bunker. And I can appreciate that optimism from a president, but then at the same time, I don't like his dopiness. I don't like that he don't seem all that bright. But like you said, because he's an experienced parent, he came down there dropping bars about baby. Babies are resilient. That's something I had to learn kind of the hard way, because when there was a bed in my house, who would be the first one to mess around on watch and let Elle fall out the bed as a baby? And guess who that was, B. Avery? It was me. It was me. She rolled out the bed and fell on the floor on my watch. She survived. But having said that,
yeah,
it's been 3 years, B. Avery. So who's the lucky man that knocked up Louisa's panty drawers? Where he at? Where the baby daddy at?
You know what? Well, good point. But maybe that, I'm assuming that was early on. She could have went down there pregnant. Actually, they answered.
You can't be pregnant.
No. They answered. The husband was on the plane that was carrying Congress. I forgot they did make that comment, because they did ask. I think they did ask like who the baby daddy is, and it was like he was a staffman or a serviceman or a staffman on the other plane that was carrying Congress. I think it's my.
But didn't they say they was down there for 3 years too though? Or this was the beginning?
Yeah, I'm thinking this was towards the beginning of them when they was down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So it's 3 years later now.
Yeah, because I remember the subtitle. It did pop up. It said 3 years earlier. When Billy, Xavier, and Cal came in there, and she actually named the child Cal too. So that's interesting. That's interesting. We're going to get to the parallels of both birth scenes in a moment, but before that, I kind of thought about Titanic when I was watching this. At the end where Jack and Rose are in the water, she's on the door, and he's drowning or freezing to death in the water. I thought that when Annie was on the horse and Xavier was walking, they had a long walk, man. They had a long journey. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Was there enough room on the horse for Xavier to get up there too? How did you feel about him walking like that the whole time?
Man, I was sitting up here rolling my eyes, mad as hell, like, girl, We about to walk from Graceland, Tennessee to Atlanta. You kidding me? You better. First of all, pregnant woman
Days.
as far along as she is, she ain't supposed to be on no horse anyway.
Right.
And eventually we find out she got preeclampsia. Now you don't get preeclampsia from a horse ride, but you get other injuries humping and bumping on the back of a horse. So needless to say, she should have let that man get on the horse, and instead of her straddling the horse to reduce friction, she should have turned both of her legs to the side, let him hold her, and they both ride that damn horse. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then I gotta get Xavier too. I gotta get him to be Avery.
I have a feeling that's what you're gonna say, but keep going.
When he left that house to go find her some help, he ran out of okay.
No, because we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Everybody may disagree with me here, but I like the whole holy charge thing. Xavier dropped the bar too, but I just still was not on board with how untrusting Annie was. It just didn't add up to me or make sense. It didn't resonate at all. Help me understand. And also, I got kind of tickled when they was walking and they saw the other group of people in the horse carriage, walking. And she's like, don't say nothing to them. We don't know these people. Don't say hello. And Xavier was like, hey, I would have spoke. I would have did exactly what Xavier did. Now, he did something stupid as hell after that. We're going to talk about it. But at that point in time, I was like, a friendly nod, a friendly gesture will go a long way. You walk by, you mean mugging or not saying nothing at all. That's just going to make people nervous. And you saw the person in the back with the pistol ready, and I don't blame them either. But that was funny to me, just them, with the pistol toted like that, but Annie is just so, untrusting of anyone. And I don't know. They talked about it a lot, but it just didn't really add up to me why she was just so like, I'm afraid of the world. How you feel about all
that? I disagree with that, and let me articulate it by saying this: who's your favorite DC character? Give me your two favorite DC characters.
I'll say Batman.
Okay, stop right there, because that's who I was looking for. If Batman was out there with Annie, would he been speaking to them people walking by?
Probably not.
We're in an apocalyptic world. That's why Annie is not speaking to nobody. When you're in an apocalyptic world, resources are scarce. You don't know who to trust. And so they were showing the contrast between someone who had been in the bunker, where he can, for the most part, trust most people because at the very least, they're not trying to kill each other for resources, versus people who are still above earth. Every time you see somebody coming, you got to wonder, are they going to attack me like this is The Walking Dead? Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're right, but nothing has happened to Annie. Every person she's come across since Doomsday has been nice to her.
And to that point, when you saw those people go by and Sterling tried to speak to him and they didn't say not a damn word and they just showed him his gun, eventually they turned out to be nice, even though they didn't speak, because I'm sure they're thinking we don't know to trust these people either. And they wound up helping out. I
agree. Now we can get to it. Well, do you have any commentary about the swaddling?
Ladies and gentlemen, you got to learn to swaddle that baby. You got to learn to swaddle the damn baby. Let me tell you something. My swaddle game was on point, but it took me about a month.
Yeah.
But once I got it. But the problem was my daughter, Elle, she hated being swaddled. She did not like it. No, she didn't. So I'm thinking I'm doing something wrong, and I wasn't. But my son, that little guy, you could swaddle him like he was a bee in a honeycomb, and he would be just snug. Elle, on the other hand, every time I swaddle her, it seemed like within 5 minutes she pop out like a Christmas gift. It was a mess. But you got to learn how to swaddle, ladies and gentlemen. It's not as hard as it looked.
Right on. Going back, Well, no, because okay, yeah, she had the baby at the Waffle House. But before that, they slept at the church. I forgot to talk about this. We talked about the visions early on. She has the ID of Link, and they show us how smart he was. Was it the California Institute of Technology?
Yep.
Also, you brought up the disease. She was writing down, what was that? Her blood pressure that she was taking a record of on that notepad.
Yeah.
And because she was talking about the time. And okay, I thought you would know that. I wasn't entirely sure. Again, I know we talked about divisions, but she has the photo. And as soon as Xavier looked at it, he got not the message, but the memory or dream of the vision with him and Link together. She was like, "Oh, you did have a concussion." I'm really glad that he communicated with her, like, "Hey, I've been having these, premonitions, these dreams, these memories." I like the communication. I just had to, comment on that. But going back to the Waffle House, where Annie. Well, I'm sorry. Did you have anything to say about that?
The only thing I would comment is I think that him and that premonition is really, really what gave her a stronger bond to him to say, "Hey, you carry on my legacy." I think that was the moment that kind of ingratiated him with her for life.
Right on. I can dig it. Now, I think the part that we're talking about was so ridiculous is when Annie is having the problems with she's going into labor. It's early. She brings up her condition. I have blurred vision. I have swollen feet. My blood pressure is high. I need clean towels, a liquid dropper, eyedropper. Xavier is like, "I can't do this by myself." When he runs to the house, first of all, I'm like, "Why the hell did you not get on the horse?
Thank you.
You're running."
Thank you.
I was very frustrated about that. Like, I understand you don't have a car, but you got a horse there. I'm like, okay, are you leaving the horse for Annie in case she got but she's not gonna get up there. No way. She can't even walk. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So get on the horse. Okay, I don't mind you jumping the fence. I don't mind. I don't know. I wouldn't have just went in the house and started rummaging through the cabinets, bro. I would have stayed outside and beat on the door. But when you get in there, man, and the guy points the gun, why are you attacking everybody, man? Last time you did that in the woods, you got stabbed in the chest, and then you woke up, all your stuff was gone, and Annie saved you. They have every right to blow your head off, bro. You got lucky. You got really lucky that you didn't die there. They should have killed you. That was this. Oh, everybody is not perfect in the world. We all make mistakes, Lamont. But that was stupid. Stupid. What are your thoughts?
For me, the biggest stupidity was why are you just skipping the horse? Did the writers try to slip in there at the end? The reason maybe he didn't get on the horse is because him and the horse didn't get along. Because at the end, when he was trying to get that horse to go, the horse was like, "Nah, give me a peppermint." And for those that don't know, horses love peppermint. That's one of their favorite treats. So maybe that's why he skipped the horse. Yeah. And when I say he was running, boy, he was running a 4.2 flat like Michael Vick. He was balling. But still, come on, man, at least try the horse.
Yeah.
I think that his CIA instincts, Secret Service, instincts kicked in when that gun was put in his face. But like you said, first of all, why do you have your back to the rest of the house?
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to open that drawer, I'm putting my back and I'm pulling the drawer out like this. You know what I'm saying? Like this. I'm not going to be having my back there, but I don't disagree with him going in the house. I mean, he was screaming outside. Nobody said nothing. He knocks on the door. Nobody say nothing. He gets in the house. He's, "Hello, anybody here?" Nobody say nothing. And then when it seems like it's an empty house, which it's an apocalyptic world, you might find a bunch of empty homes. Nobody says nothing. So he starts rumbling. And then when he starts rumbling, somebody just pop up with a gun in his face. I can see the instinct happening. Yeah. But when old boy walked in with the shotgun, it's not realistic that they wouldn't have shot him.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. Yeah. They would have blew his head off.
Yeah.
And, they cut from that scene. Next thing we know, He's got the whole wagon trail coming down there. All the Amish people coming right on in there. They even done went and got them a black sister to put in Amish. They're gonna have a whole show called Escape Amish. They came to help deliver the baby.
Yeah, they had all the tools, all the equipment, all the stuff. I felt so sorry for Annie because old Shotgun Billy came in there first, looking scary, and she's you already gonna be nervous, but you're in labor, like and it only lasted 5 seconds, but it was 5 seconds of hell, But she took a deep breath when she saw everybody else coming there, man. And Lamont, I like the editing. We was getting she had a baby girl while Louisa was having a baby, and down in the bunker. It wasn't the same time, of course, but the way that they edit those scenes together, I thought it was quite nice. And I was like, oh, we have a baby here. And in the middle of enjoying, in the middle of the celebration, it all goes to crap. I was very squeamish. They did a great job of making you uncomfortable. At least that's how I feel. With the blood coming out, the placenta. I didn't see this coming, Lamont. I didn't see it coming. We'll see how you feel. And, that's the lifeline for the baby. But I'm assuming the black chick tried to pull it out and it was just too painful. Do you think that Annie should have endured more pain so that she can be here? I don't know. I'm not a woman. I'm definitely not over here trying to say, hey, toughen up, woman. Come on, stick it. I'm not saying that. But yeah, man, where you at on this? Because it shocked me.
A lot of women, one of the things they teach you when you're pregnant is about preeclampsia. And Annie was at a point where even ripping out the placenta, she still wasn't going to survive. So she's just kind of like, why even go through that pain? I'm not going to survive anyway. And for a minute there, I was starting to think that those Amish people was like them folks that be stealing placentas trying to cure cancer secretly and shit. Like that's what I was thinking, because it was like she told the woman stop and she kept yanking. And then eventually she stopped. I'm like, these people eat placentas or what's going on here? And that's when they kind of got to the nitty gritty. And they had been giving you clues, if you understand preeclampsia, with the high blood pressure, swollen feet, and then when your blood pressure is high enough, you can start losing vision because the vessels start to burst behind the eye. And she's a doctor, so she already kind of knew it. I do like that she had her note ready. She already knew what time it was. She had, in just a few days, bonded with Xavier so much that she knew this man is so determined. He's going to finish a mission, and I'm going to leave my baby with him. But the thing is, I'll save it for when we get there. There's something else I want to say about him and that baby.
She did write the letter before the baby was here, of course. Before Xavier got back with the people. That's crazy. How does she? I mean, I'm not trying to sound ignorant, but before, like, as the baby, she was like, I'm not going to survive this. Or was it like, just in case I'm not surviving this? Do you have an answer?
I think it was more just in case, leaning more toward I'm not going to survive, because the tools that can help you survive, they just aren't there. And I always commend the female species for what they've had to endure since the beginning of time, delivering babies. It is painful to them, and it's only because of modern medicine that most women don't experience a lot of that pain. However, the people that do experience the most pain out of any group in the world are Black women, because doctors tend to treat them as if they don't feel pain. They ignore their pain and they just disavow them as if they don't know what they're talking about because they don't have medical knowledge. And so I completely understand this episode because I've worked in the field. I've been there when a baby was delivered. I had to suction the baby out, and I've been there for both of my kids. And the one thing I made sure with my wife, no pain, honey, get that epidural. I'm gonna hold your hand. I'm gonna help you do these squats. And when the baby came out, I was standing right there to wide receiver the head, baby. I was just like this. Here comes L. Then the placenta comes out naturally. Yeah. But preeclampsia is nothing to play with, and I'm glad that they took the opportunity to highlight this issue.
Is it common? I wouldn't know. And I know that she had, Let me ask you this: so you saying she would have lived if she was in a hospital, like a normal hospital, or no?
Most likely, yes. Most
Okay,
like, well, she would have lived if she would have had hospital care throughout the pregnancy,
gotcha.
because there are certain things you can do to reduce the risk of preeclampsia, and she didn't have any of that kind of care on the way to the baby. Then you rode a damn horse.
Good point, sir. Thank you. Yeah. And Lamont, it was awful. The way she died, the way she passed, that was very painful. Like Jesus. The women knew they holding a baby over here. She just like, I mean, she's fading away, looking at her baby 5-10 feet away, in Xavier's arms. I mean, my gosh. I mean, he thought he was just trying to run into his wife, but this is just put in his lap like this. She's like, this is your responsibility. It can only be you. You have to promise. Like, how do you say no to that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yes, big eyes like you just got right there. This is your holy charge. He can't deny the game that he spit on her 15 hours ago, talking about the world is good. People are known for greatness and courage and whatever. It was nice. I don't remember exactly what he said. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so dramatic. Like, this is, you know, like, can you imagine? You know, the baby's here, but no, she's dying 10 seconds later, and then just puts this burden on you, bro. Like, what should what's up?
They could have made it. They could have made it worse, and they should have made it worse. Let me tell you why. If you know you about to die, why are you not holding your baby in your last few moments? It should have been a picture of her holding the baby, Xavier holding her. She starts to get limp. Then Xavier got to take the baby while she dies in his arms. They could have done that, because most women would have wanted to hold the baby before they kicked the bucket, and she didn't.
This is true. This is true. But she passes away, and they bury her. I like the sentiment, the gesture that you know her. Everything nice to say. We didn't know each other that long, and then she goes and he goes and starts conversing with the other lady that used to be a chemistry teacher, and I think she said her son or child was 21 years old, and you know she was doing what we all were doing in high school, kissing under the bleachers. Some of us were trying to get laid, some of us wasn't. And I like what she said too, is the burdens or the decisions we make are the burdens of our children, and you know how and how fast time goes, and then Xavier had the conversation about Annie and the storm and the tornado and how powerful that was, and when he heard that, how he couldn't stop thinking about it. And yeah, man, interesting conversation. Also, she was reading and said that 72,000 years ago, another volcano happened. Only 1,000 people survived, and we are all the descendants of those 1,000 people. Hey, I don't know, but that's interesting. Very interesting. How you feel about all that, sir?
Oh, the nerd in me was having geek gasms, because there's truth in the fact that down the line somewhere, we're all related.
Oh yeah.
Down the line somewhere, we are all related, because man didn't just pop up with, we didn't just arrive here with 1,000 of us. It had to start with a handful of us, and then we populated the world. So I felt her on that, but I also noticed how this chick roll up, they make their own cigarettes. I mean,
Really?
those have got to be the freshest damn cigarettes you're going to find anywhere. They rolling up their own cigarettes, smoking, and I enjoyed the dialogue. Like, normally I'm not a dialogue lover.
Really?
I'm just keep it 100 with y'all. No. I'd be like, man, get to the point. But this episode, well, let me change that back. Now that I've started doing more reviews with you, I'm evolving as a person when it comes to these stories, and I'm evolving to start to like dialogue, to the point where if there's bad dialogue, it sticks out really bad. But I enjoyed pretty much all the dialogue in this episode, and I really enjoyed that dialogue with Xavier and the lady at the end. And I like how they was testing the swaddle that they made for him to have the baby ride on his chest. But at the end of the day, B. Avery, no matter how much packing they did, there was no milk for that baby. He's
Yeah.
gonna run out of milk.
Yeah.
Like, dude, the baby can't eat nothing else but milk right now. Nothing but milk. You can't give them nothing else. And a lot of people don't know you can't give a child under 1 honey because there's this missing cell that they don't have yet because they're not old enough, and honey can kill them. So if you got to use your imagination with him going on the road with a baby.
Should
And
he have
then,
left the baby there with them? Because she offered. They
yeah,
offered.
yeah, he should have left the baby and came back after he found his wife.
Yeah.
Like, get your wife, then come back, then go to Link. Not
still come back, not just leave the baby there
yeah,
forever.
not just leave the baby there forever. Not just leave the baby there forever. Go get your wife and then come back, then go to Link. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now we get a different side of Sinatra. It looked like she have a heart. She went to go see Louisa. I didn't expect that. Did you?
No. Well, let me take that back. When she was standing there when Louisa was giving birth, she was tearing up because she's a mom.
Yeah, she was.
She's a mom.
I forgot.
Yeah. She was tearing up, and like I said, one thing that can bring people together is the birth, the bringing of new life, and the death of someone that was loved, that was old. And Sinatra is a human, even though she has asshole tendencies. She's still a human. And I guess, B. Avery, if you are as smart as she is, and you are burdened with the task, glorious purpose, as Loki would say, to restart the whole world, you probably do kind of got to have an asshole mentality a little bit.
I don't agree with that part. You may have to make some tough decisions, but I don't think you have
some of
to
those
be.
tough decisions. Some of those tough decisions are going to be seen. Some of those tough decisions are going to render people to thinking you're an asshole. Like, for example, the amount of people in the bunker. That was a tough decision. If you ain't getting that bunker, you thinking everybody in that bunker is an a-hole, or at least the people who made the decisions that you and your family couldn't get there.
Yes. But Sinatra's still a liar because she
Definitely.
lied to the people down there. There are no survivors. She lied to Xavier. She lied to everybody. But apparently she knew the whole time because she has a plan. That's what she told baby Cal. I have a plan. One day you're going to see a real sky. You're going to see the real sun. You're going to see real stars. What is she talking about, Lamont? What is she talking about? Because I'm thinking that, because the atmosphere outside, when all the greenhouse gases do their stuff, everybody's just going to blow up or pop. So I'm thinking that, everybody's going to be at some point, whether it's season 2 or season 3, because I think they already are doing the season 3. That everybody going to try to rush and get into the bunker, and the 25,000 going to turn into like 600,000, or I don't know. We're just going to make up a number. But apparently not. Apparently Sinatra has plans on leaving the bunker because she's talking about we're going to see this. So, and we got nuclear reactors and siphoning power. What's going on, Lamont? What kind of plans she got?
She could be trying to terraform what's left of the Earth, kind of like what they plan on doing in Mars, but just the opposite. Instead of trying to burrow into the ground, they're going to start burrowing their way out and using energy to terraform the atmosphere. Think of, for all my DC fans, think of every time Apocalypse goes to a new planet to try to take over. He tries to terraform the planet to fit the needs of Apocalypse. And she's probably got enough energy and whatever reserve she's using that she can bring the device and the energy out into the open to help terraform the atmosphere and get the Earth back the way it's supposed to be. Because obviously she knows the plan. And B, what's so sick about this is she's had this plan from the very beginning, right, and got people thinking, like you said, that they're just going to be stuck in this bunker. And Xavier was one of the first people to realize, hey, something ain't right here. Xavier and Cal's son.
Yeah. Correct. But take a little sidebar. It's a pipe dream that we're gonna ever terraform Mars. But if you have the technology to terraform Mars, it would be easier to terraform Earth. And let's I guess it's the reason why you want to terraform Mars. Are you because you just want to expand human civilization across the galaxy, or you terraform Mars because you know that an impending doom is coming and we're destroying the planet and we're not going to last forever? I mean, am I making sense here? Especially with the energy, it would be easier to terraform Earth back to a more safe environment than another planet across the solar system. Am I tripping or what?
Well, it's not that you're tripping. You're missing the point of why these billionaires want to leave planet Earth. They don't want to leave because they care about humanity so much. They're leaving because they want resources. So that's it. That's
Gotcha.
it. I mean, think of these billionaires no different from when the settlers and the pilgrims found what belonged to the Native Americans. They just wanted more resources and to be able to have their own form of government. That's all they're trying to do. And one thing that you can do once you get to a planet or a moon that has zero to no atmosphere, you can put solar panels anywhere that gets sun 24 hours a day and drain it of all the energy you want, and then you can refract that energy back to Earth. It's just that nobody has decided to put panels on the moon yet that can actually do that, because that would be infinite energy as long as we have a sun. And to your point about, are they worried about blowing up Earth? Well, if you blow up Earth, you're pretty much doomed, because Mars is the next planet from us. And Mars is going to kick the bucket before us if our sun starts to expand, which inevitably at some point in time it will. It's going to get Mars first. And so we need to be really figuring out how to split atoms and get humanity moving either at the speed of light or fast enough so that we can get to a wormhole and cross over to a place where the sun ain't started expanding yet. That's the only way you're going to save humanity.
Should we terraform Earth? Should we terraform Mars? Should we terraform both? Let us know in the comment section. I'm just having fun. Why is Link pulling up like King Koopa with these signs? Like, I mean, bro, the door is 1 billion feet high, and he pulling up with a white poster board and Sharpies, talking about "let me in." Like, I mean, this dude boxes of bridges are bigger than, I don't even know. They're bigger than the whole mountain of the bunker. Like, what? What does he think he gonna do? What are your thoughts?
Bro, I'm laughing because I was like, this dude roll up like he King Cooper, and the penguins are gonna pop out the door and hit him with a snowball and ask, "Do you yield?" And he starts giving, "I think not."
Yeah,
Bruh,
yeah.
Link has got to have something up his sleeve. Maybe he's got some kind of MP device or something that he feels like can penetrate that bunker to shut it down. Because I noticed that they use a camera that you can tell is getting energy. And of course, it was a dual purpose. They want us to know that somebody's monitoring that camera, but we also want to see that the camera has energy. At the end of the day, I think Link has some kind of technology, some kind of device that can maybe give an electromagnetic shock to what's going on down there, shut them down, or he's got something that might can penetrate that bunker. You don't make those kind of idle threats and then start peeing on the side of the wall unless you about to do something. Okay.
Right,
so
right.
like B. Avery said, Link got the balls of Mars because he's about to do something.
Yeah,
they got something.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. I'm gonna be so disappointed if he just walk up and hit in a 4-digit code and the doors open. I want this to be a challenge, or I want him to be super smart to where he's just like, oh snap, I didn't, like I don't want nothing stupid. I'll be disappointed. Initially, bro, I was really frustrated. I'm like, hold on. You telling me that as soon as Xavier pulls up in Atlanta, the first place he goes to is where Terry is? Come on, man. Like, this is not the mall. This is a whole city, but they saved it because it was like, oh, yeah, my wife, I have the signal from the broadcast, so I knew she was okay. I was like, okay, that can make some sense. He is smart. He knows how to follow a compass, a radar on the plane. Okay, I'll let him pass. But he was a bit aggressive. Dude was like, "Hey, you must be Xavier. Hey, where's my wife? How do you know? You know, I'm gonna shoot you." And I'm like, "Don't shoot him. You ain't gonna get the information." You know what I'm saying? He has the answers. Be nice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And dude was like, "She's my best friend, and she was taken from me." And he just like, "Oh God." Yeah, that was a hell of a cliffhanger, man. Where is Terry? Okay, is this the new boo? You know, he got a baby. Maybe she got a boo. You know, like, and you left me for this guy? Well, I thought you was dead. You left me and went to the island. You know, no, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, man. What's going on? Where's Terry? Who is this guy? You know, what's going on?
Well, my thoughts is, what kind of friend are you if you allowed her to get taken? Like, what did you do? Did you just stand there and say, "Bye, don't take me"? Like what happened? I need to know the story. Like,
Yeah.
this your best friend and she got taken and you didn't? It's hard. I'm having trust issues with this guy already. And you mentioned how Xavier was just erratic. Well, let me tell you something, B. Avery. This man been traveling on the road with a baby that he can barely properly feed.
Good
It will
point.
drive anybody crazy.
You're
He
right.
probably ain't got no sleep. I noticed his hair and beard look rough as hell. I'm talking rough ends and not the singers, okay? He looks messed up, and he done been with this baby on the road. You ain't got no horse. Thankfully, you do have a way to get around, thank goodness. But no, if you've had to be on the road with a baby with hardly anything to feed a baby, bruh, we lucky that he showed up with the baby, and I'll leave it at that.
Right on, man. What you think gonna happen next, man? What you think gonna happen? You know, we got Link and the crew at the door of the bunker, and we got Xavier in Atlanta with this guy that knows her wife, with a baby. So it's gonna be some confrontations going down in episode 5. What you got? Any thoughts, predictions, final?
All I can say is his wife better not be with Link, because that would be another Link, pun intended.
You're silly. That would be annoying. You should have stayed at the bunker. All right, guys, y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Did you enjoy the episode? Was there surprises? Was it predictable? Are you happy? Are you sad? What are your thoughts? What are your theories? Let us know down in the comment section. That is going to do it for our Paradise Season 2, Episode 5 recap breakdown. We will be here same time, same place for the next episode, number 5. The mailman, Xavier, meets Gary and learns what happened to Terry on the day. If you are watching this on my channel, please subscribe to Lamont's channel. Looks like this. Link to it is in the description box of this video. If you're watching this on Lamont's channel, please subscribe to my channel. Link to that is in his description. Also, we are covering Cross Season 2. Okay, so check out our Cross videos as well. Watch each of our videos 30 times each. We will both really appreciate it. But guys, thank y'all again for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's Lamont. And that's just our opinion. Peace out. And we'll see you next time.